Hello and welcome to the best mods for Xbox PC, where we will be looking at some of the best mods till the checkout each and every single day, or at least that's the aim. There'll be something here for everyone, definitely worth checking out. Use the chapters where you need them. If you do get anything out of this, consider liking, subscribing. It goes a really long way. Appreciate your time. Let's get into it. Next mod is some free custom Habs, which I'm sure many of us always love to see. This set is called Owl's Tech Habs. So Owl Tech comes with 12 new Habs. Pretty unreal. Quickly going through them, we have a 2x1 Captain's Quarters, 3x1 Tech Crew Bay. We have the 2x2 Tech Mess Hall. There's two varieties, the starboard and the port side. You have a walkway, and this is pretty cool. We have a Rev 8 2x1. Interested to see that. 2x1 cargo bay, a Tech open bay, 2x1. Then we have the Tech offices aft door, which we also have an empty equivalent. We also have the Tech offices forward door, 2x1, and a empty version. Important to note that some of the intention here is to use the place your door yourself is recommended, at least with this mod. So to get this working how you want, I would probably strongly recommend having place your doors yourself mod. But the main focus here is we're just going to go take a look at these Habs to give you a good idea what you're in for. Entering our very first Hab. Oh, very unusual decorations here. It's cool. We got some terracotta warriors, basically, some bed, locker, and if we just go through here, we have a very intricately designed piece here of some vegetation. Now we can already start to see that this is going to be pretty much mandatory to have the place your doors here, as the other Habs are attached on this side, but it does not look like it is sort of working as intended. But I do have another mod on that opens all the doors, so just be in mind something could be at play here. But in any case, we'll keep moving along. So I believe this is the 3x3 crew Hab, which is quite large, and it's got bunk beds, toilets, all the sort of usual stuff. So quite a few crew member there. Yeah, so this is obviously a result of another mod I have on. So ignore these doors being a bit funny, but stepping into some of the mess halls. This is a huge Hab, quite a nice amount of detail, some storage. Here we have the 1x1. So we'll just keep going through here, and then we're into another 2x2 with has an automatic door here. Oh, and this is the Rev 8 Hab. This is pretty damn cool. Look at this. So this is very nice. There's not too many options, but we're getting more and more options to house our own Rev 8. So this looks fantastic. I do look forward to the day when we can lower this ourselves and jump on. Moving on to the next Hab, we'll just chuck into this door here, which looks like it's just an empty version. Same again, we just have the empty Hab, which we covered, which we looked at. Then going forward here, we have what seems to be a little bit more of an interesting one. We got a little bit of a water tank here, and wow, this one is much more detailed. This is the officer Hab. It looks superb. It's got a lot of detail here, as well as little bits and pieces. Ah, cool. And you'll be able to put your artillery here and lots of lovely detail. Now, I'm pretty sure the last Hab is pretty much the same. It's just going to have door placement on the other side, so it will look a little bit different. Yeah, so it sort of just switches around the arrangements, but virtually identical. And then here we just have the empty versions of the two different officer, giving you the option to go in and muck around with these yourself. But I mean, for free Habs, this is pretty freaking unreal. Lots to muck around and play around with here. But again, you will need to place your doors. And also keep in mind, again, I have another mod on that takes all the doors off, so that could be at play here too. Really nice to see some free Habs like this. Awesome mod. Let's keep moving. We have Dynamic Repair Bill by Samantha Says TV. Now this is a neat mod that is going to vary the repair cost of your ship. So you can see here our standard 1000 credits. So that 1000 was the fixed value. That's the default game behavior. Now we have an option here, now that we're in space, to go into our settings, game options. We'll have a few options to play with here. Ship repair calculation, we have the option of a fixed value, which is just a standard static repair cost percentage. Repair costs are based on the remaining hull integrity, which is a cool way to do it, I think. Point-based is repair cost increase per hull damage. So that's even more interesting, meaning if you take a lot of damage and you're in a big battle doing lots of repairs, the cost could be quite significant over time. Here we can just make this brutal or extremely easy, meaning if you're money bags or you want to spend a lot of money, or a realistic amount of money, I should say, repairing your ship, you'll have the option to set it times 10. But for instance, what we're going to do is we're going to take some damage from a ship. So you can see our health is getting eaten at now, and we'll just fly a little bit. So ship is taking quite a beating. Hull integrity is decreasing. We've got the auto repair on, I believe, so some of that's kicked in. But in any case, we're going to go and turn this off. Okay, so we're in the clear, but we've got a heavily damaged vessel. Our hull integrity is below probably 40 or 50%. Back to the safety of New Atlantis, and we'll talk to the ship technician. And you can see here we have a new dynamic calculation of our ship repair cost, making this a much more realistic and ideal experience. It does say you need a new game or new game plus to get this working, but just note I'm in it. It didn't seem to have any issues with my game, but a really cool way to mix up your repair. This in the early game or even in the mid game could be an interesting mechanic to mess with, building a lot more realism. Cool mod. Let's keep moving. This next mod is going to be good for your twig and berries. or in my case, my log and watermelons. This next mod is a bit of a jaw dropper. I better not see any of you guys drool, but this is unfortunately only available on PC for now. And this is called KZ Aggregation of Scraps. This is probably the biggest, most comprehensive female clothing mod I've ever seen, encompassing some seriously stunning clothing for your female NPC companions, encompassing 69 standalone outfits, 59 spacesuit helmets and boost packs. And in my opinion, some of these are the most attractive sort of clothing you could get, all that I've seen. So some really good options here if you want to really deck out your female NPCs. I mean, check this out, Black Aurora suit, what the hell? In any case, some really good detailed outfits, and there is so many. Do note, if you try put these on dudes, a lot of the time they'll be invisible, so it won't really work for a lot of them. Some of them will work, but just something to note. Just looking at some of these spacesuits, check out this crosshair one. I mean, how detailed and crazy gothic / cyberpunk kind of look you got here. Absolutely phenomenal spacesuits. I'm surprised I have not seen these sooner, but you won't be disappointed with this mod. It has so much, and this is just on Nexus at the moment. I don't know if it will come to Creations. I really hope it does. And this crazy good mod is done by CryoZ. It even has these amazing Var'uun spacesuits. A lot of them will be clothing and spacesuits. Some of them will only be clothing, so just something to note. A few black leather editions that you certainly won't be disappointed by. Some of these look so incredibly cool, perfect for the Shattered Space Var'uun kind of aesthetics. Truly one of the best clothing mods that you can get for free out there. Definitely check this one out. Well worth it. So much here. Couldn't show it all, but you get the picture. Let's get moving. Here we have the Enforcer Tactical Pistol by Nova Finch, costing 200 credits, coming with about 6 different varieties or uniquely named versions of this Enforcer Tactical Pistol. These will be found in various locations across Starfield. Here we have the UC System Com Operator. We have the Radioactive Modified Aftermath. We have this very reflective modified Memento Terra, looking absolutely stunning. Then we have a modified Evaluation Sample 17. Then we have the modified Enforcer, which is the EM variety. So interesting to have such a good spread. Now, when it comes to upgrading these bad boys, this mod comes with multiple customization options, being able to extend the barrel, adding some very unique and cool looking laser components, very futuristic. Same again for optic. You have a huge variety of choices, some being completely over the top ridiculous, but I love it. For instance, being able to add a optical scope is pretty wild. And for muzzle, plenty of new options and choices to really change the look of these weapons. Some really good customizations overall for this pistol mod, and some cool internal component upgrades with lots of varying factors. You can also change the skin as well, which is a nice touch. Further customize the sight color to a color of your choosing. We have the experimental dynamic side as well. We even have some awesome unique options here for a variety of different ammo. And the cool thing about this is some of these will scale with however many times you go through Unity. Just coming back to the muzzle components, we have quite a few options for suppressor too, and it just completely changes the look of some of these weapons. The other terrific thing about this weapon mod is that you'll be able to find these weapons all existing in the world. So when you go looting, you should come across them as they are spread out in the world list. Just before we go, we have the excellent Aftermath weapon, which is very unique, having some really cool, crazy effects, and I absolutely love it. So much fun to use, and with the cool new effects, it feels amazing. It does a cool amount of damage, so it's a really good mix between being realistic and unrealistic, and everything in between. Really fantastic, top-notch weapon mod. Let's keep moving. When you've been building a ship, have you ever wanted to add 2 various different cockpits, and not just ones that are there for looks or appeal, but fully functional 2, 3, 4 extra cockpits? Well, now you can. This is called Multiple Cockpits, and this is by PYLB. Now, there's a few mods that add this kind of functionality already, but this could be a good choice if you're just looking for this specific change. And my god, Matillah's cockpits are amazing. Now, my mistake, this won't work with any old cockpit. You will have to find cockpits that have been placed into your HAB category, and this way they won't trigger any kind of errors. So then you'll be able to add all the various different cockpits. So let's just add a few different couple ones, and you can see here we just get the Docker error. We're not getting one for the cockpits, so just change things around, and let's go quickly inspect. We've been able to save it. we'll preview the interior. And here we go. So we've got one cockpit, we got the second one, and here we have the third. So there it is, multiple cockpits. This one does it a little bit different. You access them through your apps, but it's a cool little mod, specifically if you're looking just to have that functionality. Cool mod, let's keep moving. We have another superb lighting mod from Rabbit. This is Rabbit's Real Lights Dazra. This adds over 400 hand-placed light sources, removing fake light sources, adding lights in missing places, correcting misplaced light objects, correcting multiple light source positions, and just basically overhauls the whole Var'uun'kai major city, Dazra. There's been many more changes. This will completely enhance your experience within Dazra. Highly recommend getting this while you're playing through Shattered Space. So many little and subtle changes, but overall it just adds so much more enhancement to your immersion. Fantastic lighting mod. Let's keep moving. Here we have the Var'uun'kai Dazra Furnished player home, this time done by the famous Downfall Nemesis that has done some of the best redecorations of player homes in the known universe. And this house is no exception, as we have a much more opened and very intimately decorated place, and you can see it is completely changed compared to the last version that we've seen previously. Noting that this house has some of the excellent decorations that are new to Shattered Space, and they are littered throughout this apartment or house. And as we go into the office, we'll have all the various workbenches, spacesuits, storage, everything you could kind of ever need and want, as well as a little gift there on the table on the bed. And this place is just immaculate, and you can see here he's very cleverly built in all the various workbenches. You have your spacesuit, your weapons, chemical manufacturing, everything is here very cleverly and perfectly put in. Another amazing build and house by Downfall Nemesis. Let's keep moving. For this next mod, we are going to need a doctor on our ship. So in Aquila City, we can pick up Rose, adding her to your ship. And before we go on the ship, make sure we have a infirmary. And unfortunately, we won't be able to use some of the custom Habs for this because they would need to be patched. So you just have to use the stock Habs that have infirmaries. And now that we have the doctor and the infirmary, we can use the surgical bed, and this is where we introduce the useful infirmaries. This is a mod that costs 200 credits. This is done by Corrodic. Here we can heal all our wounds, cure afflictions, and treat addictions, as well as just do the perform medical evaluations. Now, cool thing about this mod is we can elect it to add a little bit of realism, where it's going to detract or take out all the various required items from our own personal inventory and then our ship's inventory, and also let us know if we don't have the exact item we need. Then after that, we can just jump up having everything healed. When it comes to the gameplay options, we can either use the 8 items or cost credits, or just make it free, and we can also disable the little indication on the right telling us what we've used. This could be a good mod for you, not one for me, not for 200 credits. Let's keep moving. Here we have the faction Requisition Kiosk. This is going to add a kiosk to all the various factions, to a lot of the main factions and sub-factions within Starfield. Do note you will have to be a part of that faction to be able to access these terminals. And these kiosks are just going to sell Pacific faction items. Now, Constellation doesn't have that much, so this is not the best example, but this is just going to give you an idea. You'll be able to come to UC System Defense, UC Vanguard, Freestar Rangers, Ryujin, and more to be added, I believe. And here you'll be able to buy all the various unique and special items related to that faction. So it's a nice little touch. This could be very helpful to particularly to get some of the UC System Defense armor and some of their formal wear, crew outfits, you name it. It's going to have it. So definitely a cool option here. Let's keep moving. This is a little mod, but it's pretty potent. It's the SEDWTVW Extreme, and this is by XV Punisher. And this kind of combines a bunch of little mods into one. You'll see on the bottom left on our Constellation watch, we now have a whole heap of information. We've got the time and our weight down the bottom. It adds the show power name on the HUD, adds enhanced player health bar, adds enhanced player boost bar, adds O2 bar, and adds a numerical health bar values. So it's basically an overhaul of the UI. I think this is really, really handy, particularly when you're trying to figure out times of things, as well as just getting so much information straight away as soon as you open your scanner. And do note, whenever you go to a new planet, it will also sort of just flash, giving you all that information. We're going to start trying to cover at least one ship in each video, and to kick us off, we're starting with a beast of a ship. This is the N7 Spectre Ghost Mark 1 Elite Class 3 warship, and this thing will cost you over 800,000 credits depending on your perks. But boy oh boy, it is one incredible looking ship, and it's not just for looks. This thing will absolutely shred. The ship has so many cool features. We won't be able to touch them all, but just love the fact that we just have to jump once, run around up here, and we're at the cockpit. Beautifully designed. It's important to note that this was designed by N7 Spectre Ghost, a legend. I'm pretty sure he does some of the mods as well, which is awesome. But this has been built and created as a mod by BadClams83. So phenomenal work by everyone. And obviously a big shout out to Rux616 for making the ship vendor framework possible. Just giving you a very quick tour of the ship as we just whip through it. There is plenty of space. You got all the various habs that you probably would ever want. Infirmary, control rooms, engineering rooms, armories. It is absolutely chockers full of everything. So it's well equipped with very potent weapons, but it's just very functional. I love how wide it is with all the engines spread out, but also being symmetrical. Very responsive. And when it comes to combat, it will absolutely shred, and it just looks fantastic. I love how the rockets are spread across such a wide range because they look very, very cool when you go to fire them. But it is an outstanding ship. You really won't be disappointed with this. It will cover all the scenarios that you could possibly think of, particularly when it comes to combat. It is a tank, a weapon. So really cool to see our first ship. We'll cover more of these. Pretty unreal that now we can have so many various ships just easily installed and put into the various vendors. Now, if you do want to purchase this amazing ship, you'll find it at Deimos Shipyard. And as mentioned, it will cost quite a pretty penny, but it is worth it. It is a beast of a ship. Really cool layout, very functional, fantastic. Let's keep moving.